And good morning to two of my most favorite handsome, dashing gentlemen on the face of the earth.
Raymond, look up.
My darling Raymond Aqua is back. Good morning, Raymond.
Good morning for the apt description of my very good self. Can't say same for my brother.
Unfounded claims.
And of course, the ever faithful.
Unfounded claims that he's making.
Faithful Malika.
That is very true.
Good morning.
That is very true.
Well, this morning, my descriptions are very apt.
Yeah, on point.
How was your weekend?
In respect of mine.
Oh, wonderful. By God's grace, yes.
Awesome. And Malik, yours?
Good. How was yours?
It was awesome as well.
Great.
So hit us with the headlines.
Let's start with the Chronicle newspaper front page stories. How police killer was smoked out. A well-rehearsed strategy blew his cover. Other stories on the front page of the Chronicle newspaper. Illegal miners invade Enchi with 200 excavators, 600 shamfans. That's a chief claiming. And Ghana-Japan strengthening ties. It's also on the front page of the Chronicle newspaper. Last story, I wrote reprimand letter to University of Education Winneba Vice Chancellor. That's a Zongo chief saying.
Now, the Daily Statesman is the first paper before me. It says Ghanaian healthcare attracts acclaim in Japan. There is one about African Green Revolution Forum in 2019 in Accra. And there's also a very big story about crime knows no political colors. This is the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, calling for close links between citizens and the police to fight crooks, including those whose parents have churches.
The Today newspaper front page stories. Government praises Ghana Baptist Convention for massive development interventions. Mahama nurses hot. That's on page 3 of the Today newspaper. Kuku Yabua resigns as NC spokesperson. The banner headline story on the front page of the Today newspaper. Indum demands licenses back.
Now, the Ghanaian Observer is reporting this morning that the management of the financial sector under the NDC document exposes former BOG Deputy Governor over 860 million Ghana cedi liquidity support to UT Bank to cover up debts, and that's on the front page of the paper with Akufo-Addo Oil's Ghana-Japan ties with corporation, and there is one about the Vice President donating a bus to TI. They are also on the front page of the paper, but there's a chief his name is Tanokwao Benjoin III. He is clearing the air about flogging. You know, this story last week was making the news about. Chiefs don't flog people. He's not one of those people. Please leave me out. Okay. I am a traditional leader of Standard. I do not engage in flogging.
He was not involved. The Herald newspaper front page stories: massive corruption outbreak in Akufo-Addo's government as National Youth Authority boss is sacked through resignation. Textile workers threaten legal action over importation of uniforms, and 3 security experts caution IGP.
Now, the Ghana Commodities Exchange is expected to add rice and other products like sorghum immediately to its trade. We also have on the front page of the Gold Street Business, the SEC aims at stringent licensing requirements, and this is for asset management companies and also fund managers. That's all on the front page of the Gold Street Business. There's one you should know about anymore. Yes. FDA is moving to register products online. This is to speed up the clearing process at the ports to make sure that the system is faster.
Hopefully it will still be as thorough.
Yeah.
Yes, which is very important.
The Daily Guide newspaper, sir, we got him. How cop killer was grabbed. The Japan-Ghana deepening ties is here. Chief wants we factory and police examine evidence. Yes. What's your problem?
Well, we thought we had something, but
we wanted to be clear.
Yes.
The chief is demanding what?
It was a we factory.
Okay.
The last one was also on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper, police examine evidence in Otumfuo's chief murder. And of course, Indim suing the Bank of Ghana and 3 others is also on the front page of the Daily Guide.
The Finder has an editorial on the University of Ghana accommodation problem, but there's more on the front page of free SHS placement is out on Friday. So the BC results. Yes. Friday, you know where you belong. And also on the front page of the paper is Dr. Awal, that is the Business Development Minister, is asking entrepreneurs to create internship opportunities for students. And the University of Ghana, Legon, gets E-Anansi Library funded by West Blue Consulting. That's on the front page of the Finder. To the last story there, I reprimanded UGWVC. This is Winneba Zongo chief. and not Afeni Makin.
Okay.
He said
Alright.
he did it. He not. I mean,
Okay.
the chief reprimanded the vice chancellor.
And did I hear you talk about
It's
the
an interesting word.
University of Ghana accommodation problems?
Yes.
I thought those problems have been solved.
By John Dumelo.
The Daily Graphic newspaper front page stories. The suspected killer cop
At
cops
least
killer.
like setting up people for.
He set you up and you fell into it.
Oh, can you believe that?
Responsible.
Anyway.
The big story on the front page of the Daily Graphic is past public officers conduct bill. That's Chiraj urging government. He believes that will demonstrate government's commitment to the fight against corruption. The government must not indicate that it is paying lip service to the fight against corruption. Other stories on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Second feat in a year, Kolebu reattaches severed wrist. Back page of the Daily Graphic. Trade Commission begins investigations into unfair trade practices. The last story, Chief Justice inaugurates refurbished Dodowa District Court.
Now, the new Crusading Guide has a very interesting story. Apart from all the stories we've heard this morning, Kade MP Hajjas Akufado's palm seedlings gift to selected delegates for votes, and others are angry over the matter. But there's more that you should know about. There's a research work that has been done. Over 5 billion religious followers across the world, they are candidates for hell. This research I'll be telling you about later on.
Who and how did they do this research?
Animua, your cow is in a hurry.
It's horse. It's horse.
Oh, it's not
They
cow.
say me pon kopentem, is it not horse?
It's not cow.
Malik,
Let's start with the
we
big,
got him.
Yes, sir, we got him. This is what was said to the Inspector General of Police, James Opombuinu, after the arrest of the prime suspect in the murder of the two police officers, Sergeant Michael Jamasi and Mohammed Awal, both of them of the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service. Now, Superintendent Abbas was the person, Superintendent Abbas Al-Miyao. I suspect that this name is not properly spelled, but it's Al-Miyao Abbas. He is the superintendent who led the mission that led to the arrest of the prime suspect, Eric Kojodua. Now, the story is that the Superintendent Abbas spent 3 days to smoke out this suspect. We know that after the unfortunate killing of the two police officers, the police declared this gentleman wanted, Eric Kojodua wanted, because he was the one who is alleged to have shot the two police officers and killed them. So Superintendent Abbas, whom according to the story did not know the two police officers who were killed, asked the police hierarchy to allow him to lead the mission that will lead to the arrest of this Eric Kojodua. So the police hierarchy asked him to go ahead and then lead the process. So he got an informant, he got 2 other police officers involved, but the selection of these officers was carefully done because this is a sensitive matter. He did not want anybody leaking information to the suspect whom the police believe was on the run and was actually making efforts to leave the jurisdiction so that he will escape justice. So he got an informant. This informant gave him information, and relying on that information, he chose one other Ali, who is also a police officer, to join him to arrest the suspect Eric Kojodua. Now, Eric Kojodua, being a smart gentleman, was given conflicting information and changing his routes according to the story. That created problems for the arresting officers. So on some occasions, they gave him information, then he changed the route. And then they got there, they didn't find him. Nonetheless, eventually, they managed to arrest Eric Kojodua. Now, a source at the police is telling the Daily Guide that Eric Kojodua explained to investigators that the reason why he killed Sergeant Jamasi was that Sergeant Jamasi's actions led to the death of his mother. His mother is a founder of a church. His mother sold land to somebody, to a foreigner. It turned out that the land that was sold to this foreigner belonged to Jamasi, the police officer Michael Jamasi. Now, they made an intervention. Eric Kojodua, tried to talk to Sergeant Jamasi to let the land, leave the land for the foreigner so that they will replace it with another land. But Eric Jamasi refused. That's Michael Jamasi refused, kept the land, and then threatened his mother. This is what he told the police. A month after the threat, his mother died. He's holding Michael Jemesi directly responsible for the death of his mother. So he vowed to kill the policeman. That was why he shot the policeman, followed him up into a shop, shot him, killed him, and then killed Awal as well, who was with him.
Yeah, so the other man who he killed too, was he also part of the people who had done something to his mother?
He said that they had been taunting him. That's why he shot and killed him. This is his side of the story. Unfortunately, dead men don't talk. We can't hear from the two police officers who were killed, except that we have to rely on the eyewitnesses' testimony.
That's true. Anyway, now there's a related matter you should know about. This is some very important people have been arrested because on the Sola Wa Highway in the Sola Tunakaba district, there's a lot of robbery that's been happening on that particular highway. The most recent one was 2 days ago, where a gentleman who was driving a Guinness truck actually was robbed of some 15,000 Ghana cedis, mobile phones, and other things. What is happening on that stretch is that virtually after 10 p.m., all the cars now decided they will not use the stretch again. Because if you dare try, there are several of the other stops that these people, they are illegal stops, that these armed robbers actually, these suspected armed robbers decide on their own to mount these barriers.
Roadblocks.
Yes. When they mount the barriers, sometimes you think it's police that are stopping you. When you get down there, they pull out their guns and get money and other things from you. By the time you alert the police, they would have actually moved to a different end of that particular stretch. So the drivers are increasingly abandoning the stretch. That is why the police actually heighten their surveillance on that road, and they arrested 2 people. The names of the gentlemen are Yakubu Haruna, who is 24, and Seidu Haruna, who's 18. So 18-year-old and 24-year-old are believed to have actually been responsible for almost 24 different robberies on the stretch. Wow. There's something to be said about why we had to wait for 24 to happen before we could intervene. One, there's also something to be said about why it is people of extremely young age, 18 and 24, who are the ones leading these acts, and how we are going to deal with people of this sort. So, but we know that they've been arrested. The police is continuing investigation. They believe that they are more than the 2 that they are dealing with in this case, because the different blocks that they put up indicate that there are different groups, and it's more like a syndicate operating on that particular stretch. So the police is getting the rest of them, and some work is being done on making sure that the road is also safe, including going back to the old plan. You know, some time ago, the STC and the other buses permanently had some police officers on board, so that the bus, so that at least we'll send a signal to the criminals on the road that
there's some security.
Yes.
I think that actually led to a certain policy they introduced, which they call escort system.
Yes.
Where all the buses were stopped at Kintampo, and then police escort would lead them. Police military escort would lead them to Tamale, and then vice versa. Indom is suing the Bank of Ghana and 3 others, and these 3 others are the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, the Attorney General Gloria Kufu, and then Eric Nana Nipa, the receiver. He's essentially arguing that the Bank of Ghana's decision to revoke the license of his savings and loans company, the GN Savings and Loans Company, used to be a bank, it downgraded to Savings and Loans Company. The central bank eventually revoked the license, saying that it was insolvent. He argues forcefully that decision by the Bank of Ghana is incorrect, so he's in court suing these 4 and wanting the decision to revoke the license to be reversed. He wants the license restored. He says that all the indebtedness that agencies of the state, government agencies owe his companies, if all of that money was taken into consideration by the Bank of Ghana in determining whether or not the Savings and Loans Company is solvent, they would have realized that the institution is fully solvent and would not have revoked the license. So he wants the license restored, and he wants the decision declared as unfair.
Okay.
Now, let me bring a very interesting story.
All right.
Now, the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, right?
Raymond.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Wait.
If you look at our political system, it empowers envy and jealousy. But if you look at people like Zoom Lion and others, Zoom Lion is a Ghanaian. But every government that has come will go after Zoom Lion, because they don't understand why a Ghanaian should make it that big. So they prefer to cut deals with foreigners and let foreigners come in, take our inheritance, and give us crumbs and peanuts, rather than to make deals with a Ghanaian. So any government that comes, they'll tell them that this man is MPP or this man is NDC. He's an enemy of our party. Pull him down.
Yes, you were saying?
So I was saying that that sound you played there is from actually the first sermon on Sunday, 1st of September 2019 at the Action Chapel International. And the preacher you heard there is the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, and he was talking about how Ghanaian businesses are actually being targeted. They are actually hounded and later on prevented from flourishing, and we actually favor foreign businesses as against Ghanaian owned. And he also said that the level of insecurity, envy and jealousy in this country is amazing. And he says if you look at our political system, the way it's designed, it enhances jealousy and envy. And he gave an example. The example is what you heard about the Zoom Lion bait, where it says Zoom Lion is a Ghanaian, what they call a company. But every government that has come will go after Zoom Lion because they don't understand why a Ghanaian should make it that big. And that's together with other statements that he made, like we will take away everything he has given to the people in this country and give it to foreigners. You are itching to say something.
No, I wanted to ask a question whether you know any government that has gone after Zoom Lion.
I actually think
know
that,
a lot of things.
Listen, I know that the people of this republic, the government have been very cooperative with Zoom Lion. In fact, they have supported in much the chagrin of some of us. They have been very, very supportive of. I want to say something.
I think that, and we're going to discuss this on the show this morning.
Okay.
The bigger question that we want to ask is: do we hate to see our fellow Ghanaians prosper?
Okay, so
when
we will
talk
not
about-
center on the Zoom Lion
We're not
example.
center on the Zoom line, but we want
Because
to talk
there's
about
Is it your belief that
support the Zoom
is
Lion
it your
one.
belief that the Zoom Lion example is a misplaced one? That is why we will not center on it.
So, Malik, what is your next story?
Yes.
Yes.
The Commissioner on Human Rights and Administrative Justice is asking government to pass the Conduct of Public Officers Bill. This is a bill which was laid in Parliament in May 2015. But it was not passed because in fact the debate on it was suspended because in the initial stages of the debate, members of Parliament decided that 10,000 should be set as the ceiling above which any gift received by a public office holder should be declared as unlawful and should require investigations. Now, when that ceiling was set, the decision attracted ridicule on social media, and so the MPs were not happy with the ridicule. The Speaker of Parliament, Do Ajahu, then gave his blessing to the call by members of Parliament to suspend the debate. But Chiraj now says, no, you have to retable the bill, pass it, because that's the only way to demonstrate that the government is committed to the fight against corruption.
Yes, anyway.
Okay, Raymond, really quickly before I go on the online
I mean,
issue.
now, the New Crusading Guide is reporting this morning. Page 10 of the paper, Kokubaku's paper, states clearly that over 5 billion religious followers are candidates for hell. This according to a research. And the research was put together by a group called Restore Concept Organization. And they are saying that they use the Bible as the pivotal source of information, revealing that religion and religious leaders of the world have made 5 billion of their followers 2 times candidates of hell.
2
And
times.
the spokesperson of the grouping is Peter Anamo. In fact, they did a press conference to announce their findings. And their findings indicates that God created man with specific instructions, and that's why he sent Jesus Christ into the world to fulfill the purpose. But it looks like some of the leaders of religious groups across the world are making the people deviate from the direction that's
Was
supposed
this
to be
research
getting.
conducted in Ghana?
It's all over the world.
This
more-
is international research.
Where can we find that story, Raymond?
Brilliant. It's page 10 of the New Crusading Guide.
Okay, if you want to hear more of that, buy the New Crusading Guide, and that story is in there. Thank you so much, Malik and Raymond, for joining me this morning. The online news reviews coming up next is brought to you by Zenith Bank, in your best interest, and Goyle Good Energy. Make your day productive by relying on quality fuel from Goyle, your 3-time CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year. Goyle Super XP and Diesel XP are additivated to enhance a strong engine performance and prolong the lifespan of your vehicle. Above all, you're guaranteed extra quality with our fuel analyzer from our mobile laboratory van. Get your money's worth every day by buying fuel and lubricants from any of Goyle's over 360 service stations nationwide. Buy Goyle, grow Ghana, Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yedia. And at Zenith Bank, helping you save time is our priority. There are 3 great instant services you can enjoy at any Zenith Bank branch branch. Number 1, instant issuance of Visa and MasterCard debit and prepaid cards. Instant replacement of Visa credit cards and instant self-generated electronic pins for instantly issued cards. Make the smart choice. Think speed, think Zenith. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. And My Joy Online is reporting attacks on Zoomlion fueled by jealousy and envy. That's according to Duncan Williams, and you heard the sound clip there. We're bringing more of that a little later on. Volta Region GJA branch calls off NDC boycotts. The Volta Regional arm of the Ghana Journalists Association has called off its boycott of activities by the opposition National Democratic Congress. That story on My Joy Online. Petroleum prices increased as OMCs apply revised energy sector levies. Prices of the various petroleum products have started going up from today after the various oil marketing companies were directed by the NPA to start applying revised energy sector levies. Other online stories include the BBC, Pope freed by firefighters after being stuck in Vatican lift. Oh my God. Pope Francis has apologized for arriving late to his weekly prayer in St. Peter's Square, saying he was stuck in a lift in the Vatican. And Zimbabwe's women boycott Olympic football qualifier against Zambia over unpaid fees. So there's trouble in women's football in Zimbabwe as the national team refused to play the second leg of their second round Olympic qualifier against Zambia in Harare on Sunday. Many more news stories on the BBC and My Joy Online.